Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live. Let me invite our participants. Let's see. Let's see. Hope everyone's having a great morning. Happy Friday. We'll get some people invited and have a great time. If I can get these people to be invited, this is so silly. Invite. Hi, I see everyone waving. So nice.
Hey,
Hello, welcome in.
thank you. Better seat. Hey, everyone.
We got a few more people.
Cool.
How's your, oh, hello.
Hello.
How are y'all doing?
Good.
Good.
Good. Thanks for coming out. I think we're gonna see if we can get one or two more to hop on. Um, if you guys have the mock-up of your shoe that you want to show, that'd be great. Or you can just talk about your design, whichever one works for you. But
I don't have the shoe with me because it's at the studio. I'm home right now working my
that's
9 to
Yeah, I
Dope.
got mine.
that's great. Yeah, you can just describe your design. That's totally fine. That works
Okay,
perfect.
Hmm?
you could go ahead.
Um, okay. So yeah, I posted my design on my page.
Mhm.
So for whoever's on this live, if you want to check it out, it is in my recent post as of yesterday. And basically, my shoe just represents who I am as an artist. I started off as a street artist working with stencils and wheat pasting, which you'll see on the shoe, the comic books that are glued in the front, and then on the Nike swoosh, which is from a newspaper. And then the stencil art, which is my eye logo. I call it the Truth Eye, which is about living your life in your true path and your highest alignment. So yeah, it kind of just captures a little bit about who I am, and then has those Miami bright, vibrant colors. So yeah, that's kind of my shoe in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, yours has been awesome.
Thank you.
Everyone's are so great.
Yeah, I really like your design as well too. I like the colors on it. I do. Yeah, the Eye of Truth, you called it, correct?
The Truth Eye, yeah.
Truth Eye. Yeah, I do like that a lot. I had a lot of designs in the past with the eyeball design as well too, so I do really like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Uh,
Also,
yeah, so I guess my shoe here. So basically tried, went for like a Victorian, like an off-white, uh, inspiration. I wanted to kind of add something that was also involved with like what's in sneaker culture as well too. So just the off-white design and tried to I have multiple patterns here. Got the paisley here, velvet, and then the stitched shoe. The whole shoe is completely deconstructed and then stitched back together with all the materials. You know, it's something that I have a lot of fun doing. You know, I was trying to decide whether I should paint for this project or if I should, you know, do something stitched. But you know, I like the, you know, I liked how, you know, what stitching offers with the patterns and everything like that. So, but yes,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, you know, the one of the shoes that, you know, I was very proud of making. This is, you know, it takes a ton of time to do a fully stitched shoe. So, you know, this is, you know, I feel like a nice representation of, you know, where my artistic vision goes. You know, I really love Victorian. I love velvet, leathers. Like I love different patterns and fabrics and whatnot. So, you know, this I feel like really tied together what, you know, what describes me as an artist and a designer. So.
Yeah. Man, it's so cool seeing how different everyone's designs are and just how they can, each person can just show their different talents. That's so awesome. Stephanie, also welcome. Sorry it took us.
Hi, thank you, Jesse. Just want to say I saw your shoes posted and they looked amazing.
So much.
Like it was really cool to see your industrial machine that you were using to like put pieces back on, and I can tell that you've been doing it for a while. So that
Yeah.
was really cool process to watch, and I love the colors you use. Those are actually my high school colors
Oh yeah.
too. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, thank you so much. I really liked your pair as well too. It's you know, you had a nice mixture of different, you know, mediums and everything like that. So I could, you know, I appreciate something like that.
Thank you. Yeah, I really like how the laces go like all the way across them.
Yeah, like off white. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
trying to do
Like,
something, you know, sneaker culture related as well too, and wanted to spice it up with the like the gold ropes. So you know, that
yeah. The
what.
gold rope was a great choice. I love like the how the rope texture looks with like the rest of the shoe. And I have like the Grateful Dead dunks. So and I
Yeah,
love like the furry soft vibe to the
yeah.
shoes. So totally great. I would buy those.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I love them. I was about to say the same thing. I love the laces. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You know, I appreciate
Super
you.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jess, you want to show us your design or tell us a little bit about it?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Mira, did you already go?
Hey girl, yeah, I already went.
Okay, yes, I have my shoes right here. I was actually driving up north, and then I was like, oh, I didn't realize that it was like Central Time 10, so I had to double back, but that's totally fine because I wanted to be with my shoes. These took me so long, and I had done one pair of shoes before this shoe. So
Wow.
the first pair I did was for Fashion Week, and I went downtown and they were bright pink, and I was like, this is just the worst color to match with things. And I just feel like I picked these colors because they go with a lot, and then I also wanted them to represent where I'm from, which is Venice. And so I have this V that I cut out right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really fun, like putting the tape on the shoes and then getting to like create as I go. And like I had like a sketch that I did as well. And the shoes kind of changed a little bit during the process. I was gonna add a little bit more tan to them and make them more of like a ocean sand vibe, but then I kind of went more with a dark vibe so that so I added glow in the dark to the Nike to represent like bioluminescence in the ocean.
Mm.
So very much like an ocean shoe, but I loved how this like blue airbrush brought in like so much dimension. I actually had seen these blue airbrush shoes off of a resale site that had like a similar vibe, and I was like, oh, I really want to like recreate that. So I got like inspiration from that for like the blue part, but kind of made it my own, and I airbrush mostly. I've done this surfboard right here with the same shit.
Wow.
With the same sort of blue
Look at that.
color, and so yeah, that came from there. And then I have a bunch of denim that I found in the corner here that I got from a garage sale. Luckily it was like $3 for like these huge pieces of like this really old denim, so then I used that to cover the shoe and kind of use different colors of that denim, and then I went over that with bleach just to give it more of that vibe and separation from the rest of the blue, because I used dark pieces of
Mhm.
denim and like a mixture of light. And then I was like, wow, I really want some laces to match with this. So I ordered these denim laces that are just so beautiful with
Yeah.
like these gold tips. And then I went over that and painted little bones all over them. And yeah, that process took so long, but um, yeah, loved how the outcome came out. And then I decided to add like a little bit of gold just to like highlight this Nike because I wanted to put like the glow in the dark paint, but didn't want it to just be white. But like that little bit of white's kind of nice. And I was actually intending to do like this whole big thing with the Nike sign. And then I just kind of was like, yeah, I want to utilize the glow in the dark paint for this. So it kind of worked out that way. And then I also put a V on the back, and that's my little logo. GYG stands for Graveyard Garage, which is my clothing brand. And then I put denim up at the top, so I hand sewed that part. But if I had like an industrial machine, that probably would have been a lot. It's really hard to get the sewing needle through this material, especially like at the top because it's so thick.
Yeah.
But yeah, just finish the shoe with like this and with like that. I love how this like white space is left for this one, but I kind of like the blue shading on both of them is like a little bit different, which I do like as well. But yeah, this was such a fun challenge to be part of. It was so great to see all you guys' shoes. Everybody did such an amazing job, and I can't wait to make more shoes. I actually really love it.
Man, that is awesome. It's so cool to see the love that each of y'all have put into your designs. Like it wasn't, you didn't wake up one morning and were like, I'll just do this. It was planned out and it was.
Yeah, I was like really like, what am I gonna do? And I was like looking at like the best SBs or like shoes ever made and like what they had on them and stuff and like placement. And I feel like the combination of like denim's like trending so hard right now, and then like with the glow in the dark, everybody loves glow in the dark, and with like the hand painted like denim laces, I was like, this is a good combo with like some blue airbrush. And it was just like so fun to see them like come to life. Like each step was like whoo, and then when it was over I was like, wow, they look so great. So
Yeah, man,
Love
that's
them.
fun.
well, thank you.
Very time consuming. Like the whole process was definitely time consuming. Like my shoes definitely took like 3 days.
Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
saw the airbrush you did on yours as well.
I actually did it with the can.
Really?
Wow.
The blending
Yeah.
looked really good.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that the hardest part for mine was doing the wheat pasting, like just getting the paper and like shaping it to the shoe and filling in all the little empty spaces. But yeah, definitely time consuming. Like making hand painted sneakers is super fun, but I could see why they're so expensive when you go to buy a pair.
Yeah, like this really took me so long. Yeah, because there is so many different parts to the shoe, and like I even like painted like the inside, and then I painted like the soles like this gold color. Because like then once you start, you're like, oh wait, this has got to be painted. This has got to be painted, you know. And then like I did like this little like blue detail right there because actually some of the paint came over, but then it kind of like went well with it. And then it's also like if you make one mistake, you're like, oh no, now the shoe design like needs to change a little, which is totally fine because when you try to get the paint off, then it just looks horrible. So you kind of have to commit. And like with airbrushing, it's the same way. If you make one mistake, you kind of have to go with it. So that was a good learning experience that it applies to the shoes as well.
Yeah.
If you're hand painting, I feel like fabric's like a little bit like more room.
Mm.
But I painted a little on the fabric too to give this like some dimension, like just like some like painted around the black and so. And then you're just like, oh, there's like all these little things that most people wouldn't notice or something. Like you're like you're the one looking and creating it, so you want to like do it like 100%, you know?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for talking about y'all's designs. Those are so awesome. I would love to hear a little bit about how each of you guys got started in the shoe design space in the first place. It's been really interesting to hear about all these creators, how they got into it and how they didn't really quite know that the shoe design world was what it was and how that's just like changed the course of their creative career. So yeah, whoever wants to go first is great, but just would love to hear about how you got started.
Ladies first.
Aw.
Do you want to go?
Sure. What
Or
was
should
the
I go?
actual question? Because it disconnected a little. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. The question was, how did you get started in the shoe design space in the first place? Like what brought you to creating shoes?
Okay, got you. So for me, it's just like I love fashion. I lived in Italy for a long time, so um, and I love graffiti. That's how I got into street art. And so I just always would paint things for myself. Like I wanted to always kind of combine like the city feel with my fashion. So it just became a thing I would do for myself. Like if I was painting something, I just rub the paint on, like I'm kind of, you can see on my shirt. I'll just rub it on my clothes, just
That's awesome.
like let the fashion create itself in a sense. So I kind of just started off making stuff for myself, and then every time I wear something, people always like, "Where'd you get that?" And it's like I made it, and so that's kind of how it started for me, like getting like commissions through random strangers at the beach or friends and stuff like that. So for me, like as an artist, I don't consider myself just a muralist. Like I literally do fashion shows and stuff. So it's always about combining my vision as a painter with my vision as a designer. So it's kind of like I fell into it at the same time without much thought about it. Like I didn't even know it was like a big industry, you know? So I like to wear crazy things, and I want people to feel good in what they're wearing. And I always use bright colors to like lift people's energy, like for vibrancy and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of how I did it.
Yeah. That's been a lot of people's answers of just, I just like fell into it. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
I
Thank
love
you.
the colors you use.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
like the way you like paper mache or like
Mhm.
collage stuff together, like the
Yeah.
canvas you posted in Telegram. That was
Yeah.
really cool with like the
Thank you.
sunglasses.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, all of my art has a mixture of like spray paint, acrylic, wheat pasting. So a lot of pinup girls, a lot of newspaper, comic book stuff. And yeah, just it's mixed media. So I what I do on a canvas, I do on my clothing. So yeah,
So unique.
Awesome.
thank you.
All right. I'll go. Okay. Jesse? No?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. So when I was in high school, this girl was like, oh, I love, because I would just draw through every class. I'm pretty ADHD, and it's hard for me to pay attention, so just constantly be drawing. And then she was like, hey, here's a fabric marker, and here's these Dickie scrubs, and I would just love if you just made some pants for me. And I was like, wow, I'm so down. And then I started doing that, and I was like hand drawing things that were just super detail oriented, and when one piece would just take me so long because I'm such a perfectionist, or would want to make it like really detailed and with good shading and like really straight lines. I really like very like clean, like my style is more like very straight and like shading and stuff like that, more like tattoo style. I grew up in Venice Beach, so I feel like the culture around like the tattoo style, the surf skate, streetwear vibe definitely has like become a huge part of like what I do. And now I feel like my vision with like what I'm doing is I just want to like give back to my community and like the past of like Venice and like the OG vibes. So just these shoes were like an awesome way for me to like express that and like the street culture. And then I fell into airbrushing when I saw like something on Instagram of some girl doing it, and I was like, I could totally do that. And then it just became this whole process. I bought like everything for it and like really got into it. And then I started being involved in this like one-of-one culture of like a lot of people around my age and in my community. And I just recently did a competition with a bunch of amazing artists. My friend Diego, who runs this company called Peace Unique, he throws this like one-of-one fashion shows, and he's super amazing for bringing me and like so many one-of-one artists together, and just community spaces like that I've really been able to grow in, and all the challenges that keep coming my way. I have my own clothing brand called Graveyard Garage that I have been doing since I was 17, 18, and I'm 21 now. So really fun to grow it like right off of the Venice Beach boardwalk not too long ago. And that went super well, and this has lots of support from the surf and skate community, which is super awesome. But yeah, I have like a bunch of pieces just in my room, and they take up so much space. I feel like I'm constantly getting rid of my other stuff. And then I have like a bin right here where I keep like all the clothes that I want to airbrush, and then I have a bin of like half done stuff. Like I'm just constantly like making stuff. I've been working on this like denim jacket right now just for me. I'm going to this party, like Mira was saying, you want to like wear stuff out that you've made. So
Oh,
I
wow.
like hand painted this, and it's still in the process, but I'm kind of keeping everything like white, like it's just like a part of the like faded denim.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely like just the more like very clean like shading type of situation. I kind of just like to work with one color too. But yeah, just fell into it because people were like seeing what I did around me, wanting something, and then I just every time I like go to a party or something, I'm constantly like, oh, I need to make something for that, or I don't have something good enough for that, or I just feel like I want to make things like very custom for myself. So I
Yeah.
do have like a lot of stuff that I've only made for myself, but I've also sold to like a bunch of people and have like screen printed t-shirts still in stock, and I just do like custom stuff. And then I actually met Mira and I went to an art show together from our amazing friend Captain Casual, who's this great artist, and I met him when I was airbrushing on the boardwalk, and he came up to me and he bought like a shirt for me, and we became really good friends. And then the shoe competition I was invited to because my friend Izzy is like an amazing like designer with all the stuff that he does, and we mutually know both of these people, which is so awesome that we are both, and also Sharky. So that was
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah, it was so cool to see like Steph and Sharky in this. I'm like, wait, what? It was super
Yeah, so
Yeah.
cool.
big community, but small world. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I had no idea.
the
Absolutely
art
no
world
idea.
is all one big thing. Like what I've learned in the past few years is like if you're in the art world, you're literally linked in with videographers, photographers, models, any creatives, musicians, whatever. We're like one big circle.
So
Wow.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, awesome. Well, Jeff, tell us
Jesse?
about stuff.
Yes. I guess for myself, started back in high school. I've always been interested in art and, just creating, doing stuff with my hands. And basically, it just kept leveling up from, cleaning shoes and just, I just started seeing like, people wanting to get rid of shoes. And I'm like, oh, these aren't dirty. Like, I could clean these. And, kept going from that to then restoring them, by painting and sewing on them. And then eventually I was like, I could just do this myself or, create my own designs. So I started painting on shoes. That was a while back. And I just really like to, express myself through art and being like an individual. I love working with people or clients that, they want to have something that's one of one, that's special to them, that's unique. Because I was somebody that never really liked to wear and have everything that everybody else had. I always kind of like to, kind of do my own thing or have my own style. And, so basically I just really went in on the designing and making my own stuff, and people really started liking that. And as things kept growing, I started to learn to sew on the shoes, and that's kind of where things, my I guess experience and career kind of took it to another level. And I was able to paint, now sew. There's really not much that with shoes and clothing that I can't do. So it's like I really spent a lot of time like practicing and working really hard on my craft. I mean, I've made over hundreds and hundreds of shoes and clothing. Some of it's not even like I don't even have it posted. It's just more of like I've spent so many hours just really trying to hone in on the craft and make it as high level as possible. I'm always trying to grow with it and always trying to get better at what I do, because I want it to be as professional and as clean as possible. And with that also allows you to have the freedom to express whatever you want. So I like to think a lot of my designs are kind of abstract and unique. And in order for me to put my full on vision onto a shoe, I have to know how to do almost everything. And so that's been very important for my art process. I'm very detail oriented because, like, I mean, I hand stitch, so it's a hand crank machine that I'm stitching these shoes together with. So, I mean, there's thousands and thousands of stitches that go into a shoe, and every single one counts. It's you
Mhm.
know, if one's the slightest bit off to the detailed eye, you can notice that. And you know that is a process that I've really tried to give it a lot of attention. And I love the community of creatives and artists and stuff like that, because there's so many ways to express yourself. It just really kind of gets to show who you are. And I almost feel like, with clothing and art, that it's a walking, like you're a walking mural or a walking billboard for yourself, or your kind of things that you're interested in. And you don't judge a book by its cover, but when you see somebody walking around with a beautiful piece of art, there's that initial thought of like, oh, like this is an insight into this person's mind or their thought process. And it might not always be that deep, but it's at least a start. And I've always liked to kind of did art shows in the past where I painted, like you did the eyeball design. I actually had a piece where I painted, I think, over 100 neon colored like eyeballs on a denim jacket back in my back when I was doing art shows. And like that just was such a conversation starter. And I really love that whole process of just sharing, like, this is kind of something that I'm very interested in. And you were able to connect with a lot of people that maybe walking around with just not wearing something like that, you might not ever get a chance to meet these people. And I just think it's a great conversation starter. Really gets to
Mhm.
show like what's there to be offered. And it's just a cool little community. But I love what I do. As of right now, I'm actually working on, I haven't posted these yet or anything, but so these are fully stitched
Wow.
here. And a lot of the stuff I do is repurposed and upcycled. So this is actually like curtain material, like high quality curtain material with a velvet and then a snake skin. But this is completely, sewn and put back together. But yeah, this is kind of like, the stuff I really enjoy doing. I also incorporate painting on some of my projects as well too. But I really just like, some of my pieces take absurd amounts of time, but that's just the process. And I absolutely love it, and am looking forward to continuing to grow and do this for more people. Honestly, I love sharing my art. I love sharing like the experience and seeing people's reactions. And at the end of the day, my goal for this is to be able to be in a position where I can also give back and show other people how to do what I did, because it started off at eBay and buying and selling clothes. And I think that there's a huge market for this, and it's only growing. I mean, it's growing overnight in a
Mhm.
lot. And I've been in this space for, I guess, maybe like 5 years now, something like that. And I've seen it grow immensely. And, I'd love to just be able to be in the position to, explain the process to people and let people express themselves. Because if I could have it my way, I'd love to see everybody wearing their own unique, like, everybody's an individual and like able to express themselves that way. And I think it's, something that's really interesting. So, that would be a goal of mine with what I'm going, where I'm heading towards with what I do as far as my work. It's a part of the community, the process, and just a love for art in general. So, that pretty much wraps up, kind of my story and backing behind my work.
Yeah, man, thank you so much. That was kind of my next question for you guys was like what's coming next and what are y'all's plans for if you do win the contest? What will those funds go towards for your career or yeah, just like what kind of plans do y'all have moving forward?
I guess I'll go. So yeah, well, what's coming next? I have a fashion show in November, November 12th, which I'm really excited about. I'm actually going in a completely different direction for this one. I usually like will hand paint, jean jackets and I have my purses I hand paint and I'll stuff like that, and my crop tops. Like I have all my apparel I usually put in the shows, but for this show coming up, I have leftover fabric from a bikini line that I dropped not this summer, the summer before,
Mhm.
and I wanted to like reuse it because it's just chilling in the studio. So I'm actually having like one of one pieces made, like a cat suit, some masks, like
Wow.
yeah, all types of stuff being made, gloves, and I'm gonna incorporate those pieces with my urban wear. So I'm
Wow.
super, super excited because it's like the first time I'm kind of going outside of the box with my stuff.
Mhm.
So that's coming up. I have some events coming up for Art Basel. So if you know about Art Basel, it's already talks are already starting for this year. Yes, I have a few events for Basel, probably like 2 or 3 I'm going to commit to. So I'm like, that's it. I'm tapped out. I'm not going out. I'm not doing anything but work, being in the studio. So there's no such thing as a social life until after Basel at this point.
Man, committed.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely, definitely. So that's what I have coming up. And then if I was to win the money, I would definitely use it to expand the brand.
Mhm.
I need a team. Like I'm doing everything on my own. It's really difficult. I have a 9 to 5. And so it's very challenging to just go from like one extreme, which is I literally work in grants. So I'm like very
Wow.
go by guidelines, submitting funding proposals, and then I turn on the creative side. So it can be really challenging to do everything, plus the social media, plus everything you can think of on your own. So I would like to be able to expand the brand and to uplift others. Like the more people that can get access to the brand, the more like fun they can dress and stuff like that. And I think it would be cool to hire like young creatives and I live in South Florida. It's a melting pot of cultures, and I would just love to have like a diverse team and give opportunities to kids really who are out there trying to break into the art world. I know how hard it could be. I did it myself just a few years ago. So I would just like to be a mentor in a lot of ways for whoever I can take on the team. So yeah, that's what I would do with it. Definitely expand and hopefully one day leave the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting. You have so much coming up. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well said. Um,
Girl.
wow. That was great
Stephanie.
to hear. I'm so excited for you and your Art Basel, and I really was looking forward to doing that. I'm having surgery quite soon for a hip injury I have from skateboarding for all these years, and I've just been trying to like live my best life until I'm down for like the next half of the year. So this has been like a really awesome thing for me to like sit down, and I'm just trying to bust out as many projects as I can before it's like it's going to be uncomfortable for me to sit and stuff. So but I have a show coming up that my friend Diego P. Sunic, it's another one of like just amazing one of one artists, and I have to create like 2 different full outfits, like everything out. Like I could do shoes, accessories, style, and I'm trying to like come up with some concepts of like how to make it like super artistic, like on the runway. I'm still like going through bouncing off ideas and writing some things down. So that's coming up, which is super exciting. I have a lot to grow with my own company. And I had to send my airbrush in to get fixed because I just had a fashion show in New York that I got to be a part of for Equals Human Movement, amazing company, and they had me make some clothes, and I was trying to use bleach through my airbrush. Horrible idea. Do not ever do that if you airbrush. And it did break my airbrush, so I'm waiting to get that back, and I'm like, so now I'm just doing a bunch of hand painted stuff. And yeah, I can't wait to make some more shoes as well. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to keep like growing my own brand, wait to get my airbrush back, and then plan for this show. And in the meantime, before I have my surgery, and then if I were to win this, I would absolutely be over the top stoked to make shoes for the next part of the competition. First and foremost, that would be like such a great opportunity. And second of all, I would love to use some of the money to go eventually when I'm like making like a bunch of money, my goal is to just travel and to all these different beach communities and kind of get a vibe for what's going on different beaches around the world and how I can like contribute that to like my art and like my culture by like just learning from different cultures, which would be super awesome. I'd also use the money maybe to get like some more industrial machines so I can kind of go in more with like the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that I'm working as like a surf instructor right now, primarily. So it would just be nice to have just a little bit extra just for all the art supplies that I'm constantly buying too. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Jesse, what about you?
Yeah, so I guess like I was like saying before, I think something I would really like to do with this is, yeah, I definitely need to be able to be in the position where I can do what I want, and that's giving back and being able to share and teach the process to others. But obviously, I have to be in the position first to be able to even have the recognition or name for people to even want to hear. So you could have a very high quality level of work, but if it's not out there, it's really it doesn't really do much good. So.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be able to, get the, better machinery, and I think actually the biggest thing I would like to do is, a part of doing this whole process, I would love to be, able to network more and just be around more of the people with similar mindsets and, similar interests of what I do. I felt like most of my life I've kind of always been a little bit eccentric with my stuff. I've always had this thought process and always have been, very outgoing as far as like, my creative process and stuff like that. But, at least from where I'm from, like, I just didn't really have much of that. It didn't really, it was kind of just different for other people. So, they didn't really understand how to, take or interpret where I was coming from, and I would just love to be more involved in that and just have the experience to get to network and be around other people that share these similar ideas, because at the end of the day, like, that's what helps you grow as a creative and an artist, and it really gets you to maybe open up a door that you never thought in your next piece, or whether it's through collaborations or just being inspired. Those are all massive massive things to go into becoming like what you want as the end goal of an artist and a creative, and that's just to express yourself as uniquely and dynamically as possible. So I'd love to just even without whatever the results of the contest may be, I'm really hoping that at least this is able to be a networking experience for myself, because like I said, I would love to be more involved in this community, and I think that that's going to be very important for the growth of not only my work, but my personal life, everything. I think that's all stuff that really, makes you to, at least what I want to do in my future. So yeah, I mean, I would love to use the funds to network, have better material to work with, better machinery. I'd love to be involved in more shows. And then, at the end of the day, I would love to really be able to teach some of this stuff to people, because at the end of the day as well, it's like, a lot of people it doesn't even have to be for sale. Like, some people just want to create for themselves. And, some of the most, some of my favorite pieces weren't even for business or for sale. It was, it was just for, myself, for just a piece that I wanted to create to learn how to do something better. And that, that's some of the most exciting stuff. And you get those happy mistakes and stuff like that. And, you, especially in a field of where shoes and clothing, where you're designing on them, sometimes there's not a clear cut answer, especially if you're not, doing it like a typical, you get a source of fabric, you stitch it from the ground up. You're like, how, a typical fashion design would. This is more of one. And, if you're hand painting and if you're sewing, like, these things all can be unique to themselves. So I would really love to be able to share these experiences with people, because somebody just might like to express themselves in a different way, and this could be a therapeutic outlet for them. This could be something that makes them feel fulfilled. And I just know how much it's changed and impacted my life in a positive way. And I think more people can be aware of that if it's explained to them in the right way. I think people get scared when they see like some of the final products. They're like, oh, that would probably take so much time and I could never do that. And it's like, I mean, looking back, I didn't think that I would be able to, you know, sew shoes completely from the ground up back together, you know. And I think that that's something that it could be scary because, you know, you got to look at thousands of hours that you put into this, but you know, it's all a part of the process and it's all exciting. And I think that if you get that explained to people in the right way, like, then they have the opportunity and chance, and maybe that, you know, helps them build friendships and, you know, maybe even build a career out of it. So there's a lot of opportunities with that. And at the end of the day, it's just like, I would love to be able to network, be able to be in the position to give back. And, you know, I would love to see this art community continue to grow, and I'd love to be a part of helping it grow. So,
Yeah. Man, thank you guys so much. For everyone watching, this is your chance to go to our website, apollocrypto.org, learn about these creators and the ones that weren't able to join, and vote, guys. We have real creators. We have real money we're giving away to them, and this is a way to impact their careers forever.
Thank you.
Hopping on. I know this is really valuable for our community to get to see you guys and learn more about you. So I just really appreciate you taking the time out. This has been so great.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
you all.
Awesome.
Great.
So great to talk to all you guys.
Girl.
Awesome.
And good luck with all your future endeavors. Maybe we can all meet in LA. And Jesse, you have to meet our mutual friend. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And we should all do something creative together.
Yeah.
For sure. That's what I was just thinking. I'm like, if anything, like, this has been awesome because it's bringing together a bunch of creatives.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.